This video is one of a series in which I review the GitLab Basics documentation. The subject of this video is create an issue. So I'll come on down here in the GitLab Basics top level page, click on create an issue. So it's titled create an issue, create a new issue. Okay, so the terminology of the link is different to the title of the document, which I prefer that they would be the same, but as long as the title is clear, I mention it's okay. So it says, please read through the GitLab issue documentation for an overview on GitLab issues. Okay. I understand why perhaps, that would be there. But I wonder perhaps, they could be elsewhere, maybe at the conclusion of this particular topic, or perhaps even removed. I'm just wondering whether perhaps if that's not better located somewhere else. If someone's come to this particular topic to create a new issue, then that's all that they're wanting to do. I can understand adding a link here to the GitLab issue documentation, but I just wonder whether perhaps that could be located better elsewhere. Anyway, having said that, it says when you create a new issue, you'll be prompted to fill in the information illustrated on the image below. Okay, so this gives me some idea as to what to expect when I'm creating a new issue. Okay. Read through the issue data and actions documentation to understand these fields one by one. Okay, let me just click on that link and see where it goes to. Okay, so we've got notations for each of the various elements in the issue screen. Okay. Right, okay. That seems reasonable. Yeah, mind you, in the screen here from creating an issue, those other fields that are talked about in the documentation don't appear here. I think it would be better, to be honest, if there was at least a quick reference to these fields here in this document, rather than necessarily calling out to the other document. But again, I can understand why. Okay, so let's carry on. New issue from the issue tracker. Navigate to your project's dashboard, issues, new issue, to create a new issue. Okay. So I imagine they're talking about that button here. The only thing that suggests that may not be the case is here we've got new issue and issue in uppercase, and this button has new in uppercase but issue in lowercase, so sentence case instead of title case. So it's perhaps a little bit confusing. New issue from an opened issue. From an opened issue in your project, click New Issue to create a new issue in the same project. Okay. It provides the instructions, earlier in this section to create a new issue, and just seems to sort of halt there. Same for here. New issue from the project's dashboard. From your project's dashboard, click the plus sign to open a drop-down menu with a few options. Select New Issue to create a new issue in that project. Okay, so here we're talking about clicking on this plus, and then we can select New Issue. All right. It's a nitpick here, but it says to open a drop-down menu with a few options. I don't know that it's necessary to mention with a few options. But, okay, so here I'm now at the point where I understand there are different means of creating a new issue, so depending on where you might be in the UI. So all these sections relate to creating a new issue, but just from different places within the GitLab UI. New issue from the issue board. From an issue board, create a new issue by clicking on the plus sign on the top of the list. It opens a new issue for that project labeled after its respective list. Okay, so here, for example, we've got a list of UX issues. So if I imagine from what the content was saying there, if you click on that plus symbol, I've got a new issue labeled UX. And here, if I click that plus symbol, I'll get an issue created with the label front end. All right, that seems straightforward. New issue via email. At the bottom of a project's issues list, a link to email a new issue to this project is displayed if your GitLab instance has incoming email configured. Okay, so I can have new issues created via email. All right, further details there. New issue via service desk. New issue from the group level issue tracker. Okay, this is how we select project to create an issue. Head to the group dashboard and click issues in the sidebar to visit the issue tracker for projects in your group. Select the project you'd like to add an issue for using the drop-down menu at the top right of the page. That sentence could do with a little bit of editing, but that's okay. So head to the group dashboard. Rather than head to, I think I prefer navigate to the group dashboard. Okay. We'll keep track of the project you selected most recently and use it as the default for your next visit. This should save you a lot of time and clicks if you mostly create issues for the same project. To be honest, that seems a little too, I'm thinking maybe over-friendly. Perhaps could be reworded, but I understand the general intent, but okay. Right, so what it's saying here is that will then create a new issue in GitLab Community Edition. So, okay, I understand that. New issue via URL with pre-filled fields. You can link directly to the new issue page for a given project with pre-filled field values using query string parameters in a URL. This is useful for embedding a URL in an external HTML page and also, okay, so here is an example of how to do that. All right. Okay, so there are a lot of different methods of creating a new issue, and I think they're reasonably explained here. A nitpick, but one of the things that's not covered here is that regardless of which method you use, imagine you get to this page, dialog box, complete those fields, and then click Submit Issue. But the instructions to click Submit Issue and what follows are not actually mentioned anywhere within this particular page. So it's just a little odd. Now, given there are, as we can see here, so many different ways of creating an issue, I think it should have mentioned fairly on in this page that there are multiple issues. Multiple methods of creating an issue, and perhaps suggesting maybe one or two methods, perhaps the pros and cons, or simply stating that it's up to you to decide, perhaps according to your context, which method suits you best. But simply listing them here without any context or introduction is a little bit confusing, or could be a little confusing. All right, that's the only feedback for this particular topic, so that's the end.